May you ever grow in our hearts. You were the grace that placed ourselves where lives were torn apart.
Although a princess, she was someone for whom, from afar, we dared to feel affection, and by whom we were all intrigued.
You called out to our country, and you whispered to those in pain. Now you belong to heaven, and the stars spell out your name.
Central London was a sea of mourners. Millions of people lining up 15 deep, watching the final journey of their Queen of Hearts. The flag-draped coffin pulled along the streets of London, topped with a wreath of flowers from Princes William and Harry. At one point, the boys and their father, Prince Charles, joined the procession accompanying the casket to Westminster Abbey. That's where nearly 2,000 invited guests somberly gathered, including some well-known faces: opera singer Luciano Pavarotti, former Secretary of State Henry Kissinger, actor and director Richard Attenborough, and good friend Elton John.
And it seems to me you lived your life like a candle in the wind, never fading with the sunset when the rain set in. And your footsteps will always fall here along England's greenest hills. Your candles burned out long before your legend ever will.
But the person who left the deepest impression was Diana's brother, the 9th Earl of Spencer.
William and Harry, we all care desperately for you today. We're all chewed up with sadness at the loss of a woman who wasn't even our mother. How great your suffering is, we cannot even imagine. I would like to end by thanking God for the small mercies he's shown us at this dreadful time, for taking Diana at her most beautiful and radiant, and when she had joy in her private life. Above all, we give thanks for the life of a woman I'm so proud to be able to call my sister. The unique, the complex, the extraordinary and irreplaceable Diana, whose beauty, both internal and external, will never be extinguished from our minds.
At the funeral's end, the nation fell silent in a 1-minute tribute. A motorcade then carried the princess's remains to her ancestral home, Althorpe Park, to a gravesite on a quiet wooded island in the state grounds. There, the family held a private burial service, attended by a few Spencers, Prince Charles, and her beloved sons.
We are joined now by Nana Pamar of the BBC, and we just heard Earl Spencer speaking, and he came out hard against the paparazzi and the royal family today during that eulogy. I wondered what your thoughts were on that.
I think that everybody's reaction to hearing the eulogy was one of surprise. We were expecting something, perhaps, but nothing this remarkable, this astounding. He took a swipe at the paparazzi. The references to the royal family were incredible because it was quite personal. You could almost feel the royal family cringe as he was talking about the blood family, his family having a hand in raising the princes. He talked about the fact that she didn't need a royal title to, spread her brand of magic. And I think that the Earl Spencer's eulogy delivered will be the thing that will be discussed for the rest of the day and will be discussed and debated in the papers that we'll see tomorrow.
Yet, Nina, it was in fact judged on the spot. There was applause, a lot of it, not only inside, but as we saw at the remote locations all over the country, people applauded as well.
I think what we've seen is a change and shift in mood over the week. there was sorrow and grief, and then there was a little bit of anger, a great deal of anger towards the royal family, which abated a little bit soon as the royal family emerged. They talked to the people who were grieving. They showed themselves, and also for the Queen to address the public was remarkable. And I think there was a certain amount of forgiveness, but I think as soon as this eulogy was delivered, I think the public realized actually we're still quite angry with the monarchy, and they haven't completely forgiven the royal family.
This is 1,000 years of tradition. Do you think that this is a watershed moment for the monarchy?
I think that Princess Diana broke the mold in her lifetime as a royal member, and she did so also as in death. I think that the reaction of the royal family, the public to the royal family, and making them come out and react was an incredible move, and there is a feeling that they have power.
One more thing about the paparazzi, as you mentioned, he took a shot at them as well. Do you think they'll change? 1 minute, of course, with Diana, she is vilified. The next day, she's deified. What do you think? Will there be a change?
I am quite cynical about this. I think that immediately we'll see the princess, for instance, left alone, allowed to grieve. But I wonder how long it will last. Mm-hmm. And also, I think that ultimately the tabloids will be smarting from this. They've been attacked from many quarters, and now that the Earl Spencer has said this, that the world could hear, I think that there may be a point where the paparazzi and the tabloids will say, you know,
enough is enough.
Thank you very much, Nana Pamar of the BBC. We appreciate your thoughts. Well, all week long, people have lined up at St. James's Palace, waiting up to 12 hours to sign books of condolences for Diana. So it's not surprising that up to 6 million people from all over the world lined the streets of London to pay their final respects to their fairy tale princess. Anna Garcia was there.
It was a fairy tale that began and ended with a carriage ride. The love for Princess Diana flowed from their hearts and through their eyes. As Princess Diana's casket wound its way through the streets of London today, a hush fell over the city. And it was that first look at the coffin that hurt the deepest.
It feels like you've lost one of your own family.
For this moment in time, it was a personal funeral on a grand scale. Perhaps the greatest sources of strength came from the youngest and most deeply affected mourners, Prince William and Prince Harry.
It was really brave of those boys to walk behind their mother, and what a lovely tribute for a wonderful mother.
And so, on this gloriously beautiful day in London, a beautiful princess was laid to rest. And though the fairy tale is over, the legacy lives on forever. In London, Anna Garcia, ABC 7 Eyewitness News.
Anna's been covering the death of Princess Diana from London all week for us, and she'll join us live later in this broadcast with some comments about the mood on the street and why much of the media may have felt out of place today. Well, here at home, thousands of people either watched or recorded the event, and many felt the need to share their sorrow. They gathered in pubs and restaurants all over to watch the princess's final farewell. Maria Solis has the story.
The tears came quickly and overwhelmingly for some. It broke hearts watching the Princess of Wales be laid to rest.
It's like losing a member of your own family. But it was very distressing at times. A lot of grief, a lot of emotion shown by a lot of people.
The world's just had a big loss.
Despite the time difference, a number of Southlanders opted to forego sleep to watch the world say goodbye to Diana. The Britannia pub in Santa Monica stayed open throughout the wee hours of the morning. There was an overflow crowd. In fact, half a dozen people had to peer through the windows to watch the funeral coverage. All were here because of a need to see it as it was happening.
Being here has helped a great deal in regards to being able to say goodbye.
It's been sad at the same time that it's been historical. It will never be a moment forgotten.
I drive a taxi cab and I park my taxi just to watch this ceremony.
Just as many gathered a few blocks away at the Cock and Bull, another British pub. They sat mesmerized by the formal, majestic, yet touching ceremony taking place more than 5,000 miles away. The funeral may have been held in London, but the distance did not prove to segment those who couldn't attend personally. It was obvious television transported these Southern California mourners.
Your candles burned out long before your legend ever will.
Elton John's tribute proved moving, but it was Diana's brother, Charles, the 9th Earl Spencer, and his eulogy that left the strongest impression.
At the very end, you could tell he was getting choked up, but I think I give him a 10 out of 10 for his speech. I think it was excellent.
His speech was probably the most respectful, incisive, and unique speech I've ever heard any one person ever make.
Go forth from this world in the love of the Father who created you.
They watched as Diana was commended over to God. Many here will tell you 16 years ago they saw the shy young woman become a royal in the grandest of weddings. And now, because of a tragic twist of fate, they felt compelled to see her for the last time.
Stay with us when we return Diana's legacy, the mark she left on this world both in life and after death.
Like a rainbow fading in the twinkling of an eye, gone too soon.
Well, with tears and prayers, in words and music, England bid farewell to its beloved princess today.
Princess Diana was laid to rest at her ancestral home following an emotion-charged funeral at Westminster Abbey. Anna Garcia joins us live from London. Anna?
Laura, it is Sunday morning here in London, and as we have all week long, we've been showing you the headlines coming out because they really do set the tone for everything that's happened and how the day will go on. And most of the pictures that we're seeing this morning are really the family in mourning and the faces of the two young princes as their mother's coffin goes by, I think really says everything about what this is really all about, the tragedy of two young boys losing their mother. And so hard because they're in the public eye. Very same picture, but just a little bit different again on the male. And one other headline this morning, he'll never walk alone. And clearly, he will be the next Prince of England. And I think people today were so touched when they saw the two young princes go by, walking behind their mother's casket. It was an incredible moment. And also the reality that hit when the casket went by, because, you know, people have been having a difficult time truly believing that Diana is gone. But seeing that casket and seeing it live along the funeral procession really did it. And then to see the children in mourning was an incredible experience. And it's just, it's been an incredible week for the people of Great Britain and certainly for the world.
Yeah. Anna, we are struck by the fact that you seem to be a little bit emotional today. What is your sense of it as a reporter and a person, what you saw?
Oh, well, you know, when we were standing outside waiting for Diana's casket to go by, and we weren't too far from Westminster Abbey, but we were in the crowd, but we were kind of behind because people have been camped out, you know, for nearly 2 days now. So we were in this mass of people, and the people who were standing highest, they shouted to everyone, "Here it comes, here it comes." And then there was silence. And the people who could see the casket started crying because they could see it. The others who couldn't see it, it just hadn't hit yet. And then when the casket arrived at Westminster Abbey, and there were speakers all over, and you could hear the very first hymn and you could hear the national anthem, everyone just started crying. It was like being in an outdoor church. It was that solemn a moment, and it was a very difficult time for all of us.
It has indeed been a very long week for the nation and the world as well. And Anna, we thank you for that satellite report for us this afternoon. The Princess of Wales, she was, of course, born Diana Spencer some 36 years ago. She grew up to be a kindergarten teacher and then was launched into the spotlight when she said yes to Prince Charles.
But she used her popularity to help those who needed it most, and that is Diana's legacy.
Weeks ago, Princess Diana visited the minefields in Bosnia. Her tragic death has made a deep impression on us all. I ask you all to raise and to observe 1 minute silence in memory of Diana, Princess of Wales.
Whether it was landmines, AIDS, leprosy, or cancer, Princess Diana led the noble fight. When she died, the world not only lost a special princess, but also the most respected humanitarian voice.
How long has she been waiting for a princess?
She's waiting for the princesses for about 3 years.
Celebrity is often partnered with charity, but no celebrity ever tapped into our conscience the way Diana did.
Before I came to Angola, I knew the facts, but the reality was a shock.
While many screamed to ban landmines, it was only after Diana visited Bosnia, Angola, and Cambodia that the world bothered to listen. The ever-passionate crusader, Diana fought cancer and homelessness. But probably one of the most defining moments in Diana's charitable career was on the AIDS front. With one kind gesture, she helped change the world's perception of those who suffered from the disease.
It changed the whole perception of how the disease is contracted. Suddenly, millions of people were not afraid to touch people living with AIDS, and that's a wonderful thing. That impact is phenomenal.
Formality and stuffiness, these were not part of Diana's world. Through her friendly smile and caring touch, she humanized a monarchy mired in centuries of royal tradition.
The fact that, you know, it's sort of off limits in terms of sitting on a hospital bed and holding a hand, but here she was out touching people and hugging and loving and showing that kind of expression.
Diana said, "Go away, get lost."
Go on, get lost.
I mean, she could have pulled out a 3 pints of Magnum. We were not getting lost at all.
But charity isn't the only area where Diana left her mark. Relations between the press and the public may never be the same. Cries of anger and disgust resounded worldwide at the news that paparazzi had dared to photograph the dying princess. While many celebrities, including Diana, had publicly complained about the intrusive paparazzi, her death prompted some to take over a fight that she could no longer be a part of.
The editor of the National Enquirer, and all other tabloids positioning themselves as innocents. Princess Di is dead. And who should we see about that? The driver of the car, the paparazzis, or the magazines and papers who purchase these pictures and make bounty hunters out of photographers?
Actor George Clooney was not alone in his anger.
The right of privacy is something that seems to have fallen on the wayside, and the tactics that seem to be allowed and what seems to be permitted is this is what happens.
There's a line crossed in that situation where their desire for a picture puts either yourself or a family member you might be with or someone in danger.
The backlash against the paparazzi and tabloids was so fierce, editors struggled with the morality of their decisions.
And we think it would be in bad taste to publish them. We feel that Globe readers would not want to see them.
Just in case the tabloids changed their minds, some supermarkets announced that they would not carry the publications. Some might say Diana had the last word in the game she played with the paparazzi. Those photographers who so relentlessly pursued her now find that they are the object of pursuit. In the end, Princess Diana's legacy may be a more charitable world, a higher social conscience, and the queen of our hearts.
She did, in fact, leave quite a mark. When we return, one of the children, Prince William and Prince Harry, who now must grow up without their beloved mother.
Sorry, I've never told you all I wanted to say.
Supporters and critics alike agreed on one thing about Princess Diana. She was very, very devoted to her children.
Diana was expected to be a powerful presence in the lives of Prince William and Harry. And now that she's gone, some say she leaves an emotional vacuum. She was a princess, a beauty, an icon. But first and foremost, she was a mother. Diana was devoted to sons William and Harry and determined to give them as normal a childhood as possible.
Could I ask you to respect my children's space? Because I brought the children out here for a holiday, and we'd really appreciate the space.
Understand that.
As a parent, I want to protect the children. Thank you.
Fiercely protecting them, while at the same time exposing them to the real world, to real people.
I want them to have an understanding of people's emotions, people's insecurities, people's distress, people's hopes and dreams.
Her dream was to raise son William to be a caring and compassionate person, and one day king.
The big hope really is William. He's the one, and he's got the genes of his mum, and he's going to have a different psyche, and he's going to be so much more in tune with the public.
I take them around homelessness projects. I've taken William and Harry to people dying of AIDS.
She dared. She dared to be compassionate, she dared to make it an issue, and she dared to use her public life to say, this is wrong. We must care for people. We must love them. We must hold them. We must touch them. We must heal them. And we must do what is right.
And she dared to take on the royals.
I will fight for my children on any level in order for them to be happy and have peace of mind.
With her tragic death, that peace of mind has been cruelly shattered. Although Prince Charles is a loving father, he is also a very formal one, treating the young princes more like young adults than kids. The fear now is that with the loss of Diana, they could lose their connection to the real world.
We wonder whether the palace will sort of grab the kids and keep them from seeing sort of this side of life, you know, the more human side of life.
But Diana taught her children well. She may be gone, but her spirit lives on.
Nana Pamar of the BBC rejoins us again. She's a reporter with the BBC. This month's New Yorker magazine, which is just coming out, has an interview that Princess Diana gave to the magazine back in June. And in it, she says that she hopes that William will be able to handle the media, the press, better than she did.
She also said this in an interview for the BBC, where she said that she has been virtually grooming him to handle the media. It was a very difficult thing for her to come to terms with, and I think that she wanted him to be able to use the media, to work with the media, and to be much more personable, to be in touch with the people, and she realized the role that the media played. And I think she was very confident in that, but now that she's not here, and he's at a very vulnerable age, we have yet to see the impact of her death, and also the impact of the way she died, what impact that will have on William.
And by all accounts, a very tender-hearted young man. Apparently, when she would be crying in the bathroom, he would stuff tissue underneath to her to console his mother. And 15, a pivotal age for a young boy. Do you think that he will be able to rise to the occasion and become a king and be the compassionate leader that she had hoped?
I think that the public would like that, and I think we have to wait and see. I mean,
and as you said, you believe that she thought that he would become king before Charles, right?
She said in a BBC interview that she believed that Prince Charles would not become king, and that it would go first to Prince William.
Thank you so much. All right, when we return, the monarchy, past, present, and future.
May your love be there to guide us. May it always keep us strong.
Princess Diana's life and death are now forever woven into the history of the British monarchy.
And while it now awaits historians to evaluate her lasting influence, it appears clear that a new chapter has been written in the regal history of Britain's royal family. The British monarchy is an institution that's centuries old. Perhaps you remember Henry VIII, responsible for creating the Anglican Church. Then there was Queen Victoria, who held the longest reign. And today, Queen Elizabeth.
The royal family is enormously wealthy. I believe that the Crown is the wealthiest institution / family in the nation. What survived of the monarchy into the late 20th century that's really important in public terms, I think, is the sense of the past and the sense of ritual and glamour and pomp that goes with that.
In 1981, the monarchy seized the opportunity to gain worldwide attention through the fairy tale wedding of Lady Diana Spencer to Prince Charles. The fairy tale came to an end only 11 years later when Diana would learn that her husband loved someone else more than he loved her.
Do you think Mrs. Parker Bowles was a factor?
Well, there were 3 of us in this marriage, so it was a bit crowded.
This was a turning point for the monarchy, a time when it came under tremendous scrutiny.
It is announced from Buckingham Palace that with regret, the Prince and Princess of Wales have decided to separate.
I heard it on the radio.
Now with the death of Princess Diana, criticism towards the monarchy is at an all-time high. 2 days ago, the British tabloids said it all. Where's our queen? Where's her flag? Show us you care.
She hasn't shown any respect. She should have come down before now.
Whether it's right or wrong, that is the royal family. It's not for us to say.
I share in your determination to cherish her memory.
Yesterday, the Queen, who usually speaks only twice a year, broke with tradition by speaking live on television about the life and death of Princess Diana. Now, many are ready to forgive.
To thank all of you who have brought flowers, sent messages, and paid your respects in so many ways to a remarkable person.
But with many still disappointed in the monarchy, we have to wonder if Prince Charles will be the next sovereign, or if he'll choose the love of Camilla Parker Bowles over the throne. In 1936, King Edward followed his heart and abdicated the throne to marry Mrs. Wallace Simpson.
Legally, the church can't stop Charles from marrying Camilla Parker Bowles and having the throne. But they certainly have made it clear, members of the church, more conservative members of the church, that they would be extremely uncomfortable were he to marry Camilla Parker Bowles and to take the throne.
Or is Prince William destined to take the crown?
Once he's 18, then he's legally entitled. If Charles is no longer in the picture, he is the next sovereign at that point.
But more than deciding who will be the next king, the monarchy needs to decide on the direction it will take to keep its age-old institution alive and thriving. Less than 2 months ago, the British population was only 48% in favor of a monarchy. Now, with the death of a princess, and as we enter the new millennium, many believe the people's revolt against the royal family could be the catalyst for changing the monarchy forever.
In a sense, what she did was to modernize the monarchy. And that's an important, and I think a significant legacy that she leaves.
When we return, Elton John's special tribute to a friend.
Finally today, as I was watching the funeral on television, I couldn't help but think, we Americans have a history of running away from royalty. So why were so many of us Yanks attracted to Princess Diana? Perhaps it was because, even though she had royal blood, we didn't see her as royal as she ministered to the sick and starving. hugged AIDS patients, and cried out for the elimination of landmines. No, I think it was because we saw Diana as a royal rebel. Perhaps my college-age daughter summed it up best. Diana, she said, was real.
We leave you now with Elton John's tribute to his dear friend, Candles in the Wind. We thank you very much for joining us today.
Goodbye, England's road. May you ever grow in our hearts. You were the grace that placed yourselves where lives were torn apart. Goodbye, English road, from a country lost without your soul, who missed the wings of your compassion more than you will ever know. And it seems to me you've lived your life like a candle in the wind, never fading with the sunset when the rain set in. And your footsteps will always fall here along England's greenest hills. Your candles burned out long before your legend ever will.